What is going on, my dudes? Lambo here, and I have released another update on the old pack. Man, that tractor is huge compared to the human. Either or, with this new update, I would highly recommend you purchase one of these in-game in-store because you're going to need it for a process. But if you haven't watched any of my previous videos, maybe go watch those. If not, we're going to try to cover everything really quick on how it works. And if you go into your placeable section under factory production, you will see the following items in there. You're going to need this one, the cash for junkers. Once we get cash for junkers up and going, this will spawn cars in for us. This is going to require some power to initially get going. It'll spawn in scrap cars right here. Cash for junkers needs some power to get going. In order to get power going, you are going to need to go into the store under the pallet section. Oh, I lied. Not under the pallets, under the scrap section. Right here, this electric charge pallet. You're going to need to purchase this and bring it over to this place to initially get power going. Once you have power going in there, you will then be able to get a solar panel plant up and going. And we will place that next right here. This as well is going to require you to have some power in it initially to get started, but then it starts producing power. I'm going to expand more on these ideas later on, but once you have power going, now we need water. And this is just making sure that we have everything going prior to starting up our little factory. So now we're going to need water going, and water is the exact same thing as far as city water is going to need just a little bit of power. So solar power plant powers this, and it's also going to process wastewater. Wastewater is going to come from the rentals. I've added some rentals, and that wastewater can be converted into some sulfur, which will be used for acid later on. So now that we have our two main shabambles up and going, we can start building our little grinder station. So now the cars are going to be brought here. They're going to spawn here. You'll bring them over here. They'll turn them into ASR, automotive shredded residue. The ASR then gets taken to the MRF, this building right here. The MRF is going to give us some dirty rubber and some metal mixture. Metal mixture is going to go to this building right here, and the magnetic separator. And what this magnetic separator is going to require, if you see the fill point is all the way up there, it's going to require this thing right here to fill it with metal mixtures and dirty rubber. So we will get these full up really quick and show you what that looks like. While we're in here, one thing you're going to want to make sure you do is on your solar power and on your water, you're going to want to set these to distributing. And now this should distribute power out to there. And then we're going to set these cars to distributing if you don't want to haul them all over there. And we're going to start activating processes and start setting these out to distributing. And then here's the MRF. We're going to activate that. And we're going to start setting everything out to distribute. Same thing with here. And these metal mixtures are going to allow us to make different parts. I think that was the 8th one. I'm just filling everything up with power so we can get it going. So this is the grinder. You bring the cars here and it grinds it up. It's going to make these little pallets of ASR and steel scrap. ASR gets brought here, and this will sort it up into a gold, aluminum, steel scrap, copper scrap. But it'll all put it into a pallet called metal mixture. Metal mixture gets brought here to this bad boy, and you got to make sure you bring it inside of that little bin right there. Now, this will give us separated metals like aluminum, gold, stainless steel, and copper. And from there, we will take it to a blast furnace. So the blast furnace is going to be located under somewhere. There it is, blast furnace. Look at me flying in the air. Whee! Okay, so now we got the blast furnace right here. We'll rotate it so it's a little bit more plausible for us. Okay, and then we also have another type of smelting. This one is strictly just for stainless steel. It uses electrolysis or electrical energy. That will also get us going here. There seems to be an issue with my clear area on that guy. I'll have to do some editing later on in life. Okay, so now that this has... this will give us metal mixtures. We take those mixtures to these locations and they will smelt it into molten material, or aluminum and gold will be taken to a ingot casting, which is around here somewhere as well. There it is, ingot furnace. So you can just take the aluminum and gold scrap straight here. You don't have to take it to a blast furnace first, because there is a built-in smelter, and this is where you make your ingots at. Bring it here. Oh, I'm gonna have to fix some of these power issues that I've been having for some reason. Alright, but it'll start distributing power out to all these buildings, and then it'll start making ingots, and you can set it all to distribute inside of your screen here, and it'll start distributing everything out to be smelted. And then from there you can either haul stuff, pick and choose to haul it, or just continue to do this distribution and get yourself a little small business going on here. I'll have to fix this in the next update, this grass underneath here. I'm kind of bummed about that. But after we have that all done, we'll start adding some more yummies here. Okay, now that we have all those filled up, and you can see here, so this is molten glass. So we could take molten glass to a sheet casting facility. Sheet casting is going to be also located under here somewhere. Sheet casting right here. So you bring your molten material here, and then if it's copper, the copper would go to this one next for its purification. I made these models up. So you got your sheet caster here, and actually put it backwards. You probably put it the other way. You bring your materials right here, dump it in there, and then it'll cast you some sheets right here, and they will spawn right here. And you bring the copper ones to here to get the finalization done. After you got the finalization done and you're starting to make all these products, I haven't covered in this video the steel roll maker yet. That's another interesting little bad boy. And we also have a few different types of metal casting here. We have small I-beams, which is this one. We have large I-beams, which is that one. We have a steel roll caster. You can make steel rolls, and these are required to make other parts. So let me get all these placed down, and then we'll go through and start making some stuff. The chemical factory, this processes your wastewater from your water plant into sulfur. So we will make this. And then our final building here for production wise is going to be the consumer goods building. And this is going to make stuff for your house rentals. And then your house rentals will actually be under farmhouse. And this will consume the consumer goods and give you what's called recyclables. And recyclables get broken down into different shindigs. And it also produces consumer goods. Consumer goods, I tried to, as you recycle, like, so these recyclables here will give you scroll up to plastics, aluminum, copper, and fabric. And then you would take that after you've recycled it. Since now we have fabric, you can go and create yourself clothes using that fabric at a tailor shop, and the magnetic separator to take dirty rubber and make it clean rubber, and then copper sheets and aluminum ingots. You should be able to get most of these materials from these recyclables, doing a little bit of scrap carring in between to make it work. Then at the very end of this process, you have government grants, which sells for buco bucks. Eventually I'll use this to buy like uranium and other products, but for right now in this process, it's just money, money, money. That is how that works. Basically, you bring your goods here, it's going to produce a consumer good 1, T2, or T3, and then you'll use that in the process to make here to make more money. And the in-game tailor shop and the carpentry center is so slow, like ridiculously slow. It cannot keep up with all these processes. So I've actually added a tailor shop and a carpentry that is boosted. It's still going to require the same amount of planks, boards, whatever, but it will produce more. So it'll be able to do more at one time instead of just doing 2 furniture or whatever it is. It's a very small amount, but it takes forever. So I added a boosted version. And I do believe, gentlemen, oh, there is a selling station under the sell points. That'll give you a spot to sell everything. Going through here and double checking to make sure I didn't forget anything that you guys might want to play with. I will be adding more houses. I've just added the one. There is so much coding to this. It was just plausible to get the one in there this time. There is, okay, under decorations, you can find some signs. This is a little political. It's basically saying that you got to turn in your petrol car. This is why we can scrap cars. These are I-beam foundations. You make I-beams and you bring them here, and it'll make a wall. You can also bring boards here, and you can basically build yourself a little wall. You just drop them into these points. And that is going to be it for this process, guys. I feel like it's not a lot, but honestly, I've this last period, I built this, quite a few of them. Oh, and that. Most of these buildings here are made from scratch. So let's take a look at my little online sheet really fast, read that to you guys, and then that'll be the end of the video. Looking at a online little flowchart made from Prezi, but this shows the scrap car process. Basically everything I just covered in the video, but this is all written down, and this one shows the pallets that each process makes, and kind of the idea behind it. You basically start getting cash for junkers. This is how you get the cars. Then you're going to process the ASR. You'll take it to the MRF. The MRF will sort out the broken glass, the metal mixtures, the plastics, and the dirty rubber. The 4-stage for the metal mixtures and the dirty rubber, you'll take it here and it'll sort out the scrap, the copper, the gold, and aluminum, and the rubber, steel scrap, and wool from dirty rubber. The 5th process will be the blast furnace. I have 3 versions, a small blast furnace and a large blast furnace and a steel electro furnace. And these will be giving you gold, aluminum, molten steel, molten copper, molten glass. And you will be taking these to casting options. Many casting options in real life are attached to the furnaces themselves, but because this is a game, obviously we're going to make separate buildings. And these, right now I have sheet casting, I-beam casting, steel roll casting. I have small I-beams and I have large I-beams, and both of those are used currently in productions. Actually not the large ones, but they will be for the industrial rentals that are coming in some future updates. And from there you will either sell these items or take them to the consumer goods to help you make recyclables. And we're actually going to cover the recyclables now. The recyclables, the first process I showed you in the video was getting your water and power set up first. Under these basically these factories are going to give you the initial oomph you need to process all this stuff. Next, residential and commercial rentals are going to give you wastewater, and we will use this to process the sulfur out of it so we can make acid. So you're going to want to make sure to set your rentals to distribute so it sends to your water plant. Third process, acid production. Your water plant will then send the sulfur to a chemical plant with water, and it'll make acid. The fourth stage of the rentals, this is going to cover what each phase creates. So the first phase will give you power, water, the first phase will require power and water, and it'll give you recyclables T1 and wastewater. And from there, you'll be able to make consumer goods 1, 2, and 3, and each one of those will give a different recyclable that will help you advance to the next phase of this. The fifth process is recyclables. You'll take these to the MRF, or the recycling station, and this shows right here what exactly each recyclable gives you. Plastics, aluminum scrap, blah 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 for 1, broken glass, metal mixture boards, metal mixture, dirty rubber. And from here you just set your distribution. It'll take it all to either the magnetic separation or the MRF, and then we just start cruising from here. The seventh process shows the consumer goods and actually what was required to make those consumer goods: clothes, rubbers, copper, and whatnot. But as you can see, some of these things here, it gives us fabric and wood, so it actually allows us to create furniture and clothing without actually going through and having a whole cotton farm. The final thoughts here is just pay close attention to your storages. If something gets overfull, the process will end and then it'll break the cycle. So I hope you enjoy this, guys. This is a step in whatever it is I'm making, but one of many updates, I'm sure. This is it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hit like. Let me know your thoughts down below. What other processes can we add to this? What other ideas do you have? Do you like this idea? Do you think it's dumb? I love it personally. I don't really care, but give me your thoughts in the comments. You guys have a great and dandy day.